In the Highlands of Scotland there is a golden rule that everyone learns before they are allowed near the water. If you see a horse standing alone by the loch, gazing at you with large dark eyes, do not go near it. And whatever you do, do not touch it, because that isn't a horse, it is a Kelpie. And once you touch a Kelpie, it will never let you go. We often imagine monsters as ugly beasts with sharp teeth and claws, but the Kelpie is terrifying because it is beautiful. It appears as a magnificent black or white stallion, standing calmly at the water's edge. It looks tame. It looks lonely. It wants you to come closer. But this creature has a secret weapon. It isn't speed or strength. It is its skin. According to legend, the hide of a Kelpie clings like a powerful magnet. The moment human flesh touches it, the grip is instant. You cannot pull away. And that is when the creature turns toward the depths. There is one famous tale from the Highlands that serves as the ultimate warning. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon, and a group of 10 children were playing near a loch. Suddenly, a beautiful horse emerged from the mist. It was gentle, nudging the children, encouraging them to climb onto its back. 9 of them did, and legend says the horse's back lengthened, stretching just enough to carry them all. But the 10th child, the smallest and the most cautious, stayed behind. He didn't climb on, he only reached out and touched the horse's nose. Instantly, his hand would not come away. The horse let out a terrible sound, no longer a neigh, but something deeper, something wrong. It reared up and surged toward the dark water, carrying the others with it. The 10th child was pulled along the shore, struggling with all his strength, but the grip would not break. In that moment, knowing there was only one way to escape, he made a desperate sacrifice. The bond was broken. He fell back onto the grass and watched in horror as the horse and the others vanished beneath the surface of the loch. They were never seen again. It is a brutal story. So why did our ancestors tell it? Why frighten children with something so dark? Because the Scottish landscape is unforgiving. The lochs are deep, black and dangerously cold. If you remember only one thing from this story, remember this. The Kelpie's sticky skin wasn't just magic. It was a metaphor for the water itself. Fall into a Scottish loch, and the cold seizes your body instantly. Your muscles lock. The water doesn't let go. That is why these myths mattered. They weren't ghost stories. They were survival guides, designed to protect people from the beautiful, deadly, wild. Not all Kelpie stories are about helpless victims. Some are about human arrogance and the terrible price of trying to control a force that was never meant to be owned. In the northeast of Scotland, near the River Esk, lived a powerful landowner known as the Laird of Morphie. He was a man of immense ambition and even greater pride. He dreamed of building a grand castle, a monument of stone that would outlast him and proclaim his importance to the world. But there was a problem. Moving massive stones across the harsh Scottish landscape would take years of labour and the effort of countless men. The Laird did not want to wait, and he did not want to pay. One evening, he noticed a magnificent black horse grazing quietly by the riverbank. He knew at once what it was. Most men would have fled in fear, but the Laird of Morphie saw something else, an opportunity. He approached the creature carrying an iron bridle. In Scottish folklore, iron is deadly to spirits and fae. It weakens them, it binds them. With a sudden movement, the iron was forced into place. The valley echoed with a terrible cry, but the creature could not resist. The magic of the iron had taken hold. For months, the Laird used the Kelpie as living labour. Day after day, it was driven to haul enormous stones from the riverbed, up steep hills, to the growing castle walls. What should have roamed free through mist and water was reduced to a tool. The castle rose higher and higher, built on domination and the breaking of something wild. At last the work was finished. The Laird, proud and satisfied, led the exhausted creature back to the river. He believed the spirit had been tamed. He believed nature itself had been conquered. And so, he removed the iron bridle. That was his mistake. The moment the iron was gone, the horse did not strike. It did not attack. Instead, it changed. Its form shifted. Its eyes are burning with an ancient, merciless fury. The Kelpie stepped calmly onto the surface of the water, and before slipping beneath the dark waves, it spoke words that would echo through Scottish legend. Sair back and sair banes, driven the Laird of Morphie's stains. The Laird of Morphie'll never thrive, as lang's the Kelpie is alive. Sore back and aching bones, from driving the Laird of Morphie's stones. The Laird would never prosper, as long as the Kelpie lived, and since Kelpies are eternal, the curse was endless. Legend says the Laird's fortune collapsed almost immediately. His lands failed, his family line faded, and the great castle he built with stolen power, it fell into ruin, stone by stone, returning to the earth. The story endures as a warning. You may capture the wild, you may force it to serve you, but you will never truly own it, and the price of trying is always paid in stone. The Kelpie of the river is dangerous, but the Highlanders knew of something far worse, something that lived not in fresh water, but in the salt black depths of the sea lochs. They called it the Each-Uisge. Where the river Kelpie might drag you beneath the surface, Each-Uisge left nothing behind, and unlike its river cousin, it did not wait to be touched. It came looking for you. There is a chilling legend from the Isle of Vatersay that reveals how this creature hunts. It begins on a quiet summer evening. A young woman was tending cattle near the dunes of a white sandy beach, alone, far from the nearest village. As the sun sank toward the horizon, she noticed a man walking toward her from the direction of the sea. He was not a local. He was tall, well-dressed, and strikingly handsome. When he spoke, his voice carried a charm that felt strangely compelling. The stranger asked if he might rest his head in her lap while she sang a lullaby. It seemed harmless enough. In the Highlands, hospitality was sacred, so she agreed. He lay down, and within moments he appeared to fall asleep. As she gently ran her fingers through his hair, the illusion began to unravel. Her fingers caught on something coarse, not just hair, but sand, and slick strands of green seaweed. She leaned closer. Hidden beneath the dark locks, she saw his ears. They weren't human. They were shaped like a horse's. Her blood ran cold. She was not holding a man. She was cradling something else entirely. She knew if she startled him, she would not survive. But his weight rested heavily on her apron, holding her in place. Slowly, carefully, she loosened the strings at her waist. Inch by inch, she slid free, leaving the folded apron beneath his head like a cushion. The moment she was clear, she ran. She did not stop until she reached the farmhouse door. Only then did she hear the sound behind her. The stranger had awakened. The handsome shape collapsed, the glamour falling away, revealing the true form beneath. The creature surged across the sand, destroying the abandoned apron in a frenzy, and charging toward the house, screaming with a sound that froze the blood. But it was too late. The woman crossed the threshold of her home, and the creature could not follow. The next morning, the villagers walked down to the shore. They found only deep hoofprints leading into the sea, and the torn remnants of the apron scattered across the sand. The story remains as a warning. The water horse does not only hunt with strength, it hunts with beauty, with charm, with trust. And by the time the mask slips away, it is almost always too late. So tonight, we have met the three faces of the water horse. We saw the Kelpie of the 10 children, a tragic lesson that innocence is no protection against the wild. We saw the Laird of Morphie, a grim reminder that when humans try to bend nature to their own vanity, nature always answers. And finally, the Each-Uisge, the Deceiver on the beach, proves that beauty, it's not always the good choice. If you remember only one thing from this journey, let it be this. The Kelpie isn't just a monster. It is the Scottish landscape itself given form. It is beautiful, captivating, and unforgiving, waiting for the smallest mistake. These myths were not told simply to frighten children. They were survival guides. In a land of deep freezing lochs and lonely coastlines, fear was often the only thing that kept people alive. If you enjoyed this journey into the darker side of folklore, please leave a like. It helps these lost legends find a new audience. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our next trip into the shadows of history. The Kelpie is terrifying, but there is another creature in the far north that even the Vikings feared. A being so unnatural that it was said to spread ruin wherever it went. If you are brave enough, click the video on your screen now to meet the Nuckelavee. Safe travels, and stay away from the water's edge.